What is a speech therapist, or what is a speech-language pathologist? Well, today we're going to dive into what they do, who they are, and how they help kids with speech disorders. So let's talk about it. Simply put, a speech therapist helps children learn how to communicate better or more effectively. Oftentimes, kids can struggle with pronouncing certain letters or sounds. They might stutter, and this is when a speech therapist or a SLP comes in handy. A speech therapist is a trained professional who is able to assess, diagnose, and then work with particular conditions in children who struggle with speech. Speech-language pathologists, SLPs, or speech therapists often work with kids who have diagnoses like autism, ADHD, or apraxia. Did you know that about 8% of kids in the US actually have a speech communication disorder? So let's talk about some of the techniques that speech therapists use to help these kids. There's a number of different types of things that a speech therapist might work on. They can work on speech sounds, language skills, social communication, voice control, and even feeding and swallowing. Some of the kids that go to speech therapy have a hard time swallowing, so they might have a hard time communicating. So what are some of the techniques that a speech therapist might use to help children who have some of these speech disorders? One of the first things that a speech therapist might look to teach a child who has one of these disorders is actually sign language. A lot of children, especially in preschools, they're teaching baby sign language now as one of the first methods to communicate with children. So using simple hand gestures to describe things like "I want more," or "no more," or "give me that." Those are important ways to communicate when maybe the words aren't there developmentally yet. Another technique a speech therapist might incorporate into their therapies is actually play-based activities. So creating a game around using certain words, or forcing the kid to use that word in the game so they have to repeat it over and over. And then reinforcing those proper pronunciations with rewards, which is part of the game. One of the most effective methods that speech therapists use and that you can use at home is actually the process of just repetition. Repeating those words that the kid is struggling with over and over and enforcing the proper pronunciation. So if a kid says wabbit and you know they have to say rabbit, well, you're not gonna say wabbit back. You're gonna say rabbit. Nice try. And emphasizing that you hear them, that they're making the effort, and then focusing on creating that sound, whether it's by making a specific shape with the mouth or using a certain tone. There's a lot of things that you can do to reinforce positive reinforcement and behavior. Now, if your kid is fully struggling with speaking, there is a system called PECS, P-E-C-S, which stands for Picture Exchange Communication System. This is similar to almost like an AAC device, but it's totally manual. When you have a picture of something, say it's our family dog, and I hold up a picture of Toby. Well, clearly that kid wants to play with the dog if they're holding up the picture of Toby. So creating alternative methods for communicating words maybe they struggle with, or just communication in general, is a great method of being able to understand what's going on in the mind of your child. On the flip side of PECS is actually more technology, where you get into the world of AAC devices, which is alternative augmentative communication devices. An AAC talker is, simply put, a tablet with a bunch of symbols on it, and when that child clicks on a symbol, the tablet speaks for them. On Goalie, we have a fully customizable AAC talker built into our daily skills system. When a kid wants to ask for more popcorn, they can press, "I want more popcorn." And now they're able to speak if they weren't before. Speech therapy and speech-language pathologists are incredibly important for developing those speech skills in kids with speaking disorders. We actually just shot a documentary all about childhood apraxia of speech with an amazing SLP named Laura. We recorded a full speech therapy session, and she even breaks down the techniques that she uses in that session. We've shared that over on our YouTube channel. So we've got a link in the description if you want to watch that. If you suspect your kid has a speech disorder, there's a lot of things you can do, from being at home to going to a specific therapist's office to get diagnoses and use practice in those sessions. The most important thing is to make sure that what you do is fun and consistent. So let us know if you learned something new today in the comment section below. If you liked this video, give us a thumbs up. If you want to see more of these videos, press subscribe. If you're curious about our AAC talker device, well, head over to getgoalie.com to learn more about the Goalie Daily Skills System.
Did that help you understand the term? If yes, give us a thumbs up or subscribe below. If it didn't, then leave us a comment and tell us why. What are we missing? We always want to do better. This is a project by Goalie. Check us out at getgoalie.com.